national intelligence estimate. Now, there are parts of this that are classified, parts that are not. I will read just a couple of things from the part that, of course, is not classified. This is, by the way, the National Intelligence Estimate is something that is provided periodically to members and to anyone, really. You could go online, I'm sure, and get the declassified stuff. But it's a compilation of all of the intelligence gathering activities that have, up to that point in time, the point in time that this is produced. It's a summary of those particular intelligence gathering facts. In this one, it was just put out last month, we assess that Al-Qaeda will continue to try to acquire and employ chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear materials in attacks, and will not hesitate to use them if they develop them in what seems to be a sufficient supply. We assess that Lebanese Hezbollah, which has conducted anti-U.S. attacks outside the United States in the last, may be more likely to consider attacking the homeland over the next 3 years if it perceives the United States as posing a direct threat to the group in Iran. And of course, you all know what the situation is with regard to that, to our, at least a lot of the rhetoric intended to focus on Iran. We assess that the spread of radical, especially Salafi, internet sites, increasingly aggressive anti-U.S. rhetoric and actions, and growing number of radical, self-generating cells in Western countries indicate that radical and violent segment of the West Muslim population is expanding, including in the United States. The arrest and prosecution by U.S. law enforcement of a small number of violent Islamic extremists inside the United States, who are becoming more connected ideologically, virtually, and/or in a physical sense to the global extremist movement, points to the possibility that others may become sufficiently radicalized that they will view the use of violence here as legitimate. We assess that other non-Muslim terrorist groups, often referred to as single-issue groups by the FBI, probably will conduct attacks over the next 3 years, given their violent histories, but we assess this violence likely to be on a smaller scale. We assess the globalization trends and recent technological advances will continue to enable even small numbers of alienated people to find and connect with one another, justify and intensify their anger, mobilize their resources to attack, and without requiring a centralized terrorist organization, training camp, or leader. The ability to detect a broader and more diverse terrorist plotting in this environment will challenge U.S. defensive efforts and tools we use to detect and disrupt these plots. Well, it goes on to some other, or to greater length, but the point is this, that people are here. They have come here in two ways. Some of them have come legally with the use of a visa, but are plotting to do very bad things to the United States. Some of them came here illegally. You know, there was a road, when I was down in Arizona not too long ago, the locals pointed out a road, an area that was used by people used by the coyotes down there to bring people across into the United States, and they called it the Arab Road because so many people from the Middle East were being brought through that particular area. These people were paying $25,000 to $50,000 to be smuggled into the United States. Now, I always say, why would you pay $25,000 to $50,000 to be smuggled into the United States? It's not to work at the Quick Way, the Come and Go, the 7-Eleven. There's some other reason that you're here. Now the fact is they are here. What are we going to do about it? And this is the point that I really want to get to in terms of trying to see whether we can get this issue to the next level, in terms of the debate that is right now underway among the people who are running for president of the United States. What will they do? What will the other people do as a result of the facts that we know? As a result of the fact that we know that people are here today. It's not even a matter now of just securing the borders. Everybody wants to do it. That's great. I'm absolutely supportive of it, and been supportive of it for a lot longer than the people who are now the major cheerleaders. But what about the people who are here? Are they willing, as I am, to identify and deport them? Are they willing to reduce legal immigration into this country significantly? Because that is the only way we can deal with this situation where we are being outpaced by immigration. It is overwhelming our ability to assimilate. Now, I've talked about this often, and this is the much bigger and broader problem than just the number of people coming into the country illegally, than just getting jobs that no other American will take, than impacting the schools. It's the fact that people are not assimilating, and the reasons, by the way, got to do with numbers. The numbers are great. Now, how do we deal with this? How do we prevent more people from coming into the United States? The purpose of doing what the gentleman on that particular commercial was doing. And how do we find them when they're here? Well, you have to begin by draining the swamp. We have to reduce the number of people who are here illegally. We have to find them. We have to deport them. They can self-deport if they want. Of course, we want that to happen when we don't give them jobs anymore. Millions will. And those that don't have to be deported. Will any of my colleagues who stand on that stage with me, will any of them say that they will deport the people who are here illegally? Will they say that we need to reduce legal immigration because that's the only way that we can actually stop the increase in the number of people coming into this country who are coming sometimes to do us great harm? Now, there is this is a very serious issue. And I must tell you that I don't see, when I look around, when I listen to what other candidates say, I don't see a willingness to go to this point. But if you don't go to this point, then what good is the rhetoric about borders, securing borders? They're here today. People are here today who are planning and plotting to kill us. And the numbers are growing as the National Intelligence Estimate puts forward. Those numbers are growing. Are we willing to do something about it? To go after the people who are here? To reduce the number of people in this country who are here illegally by deportation, as I say, by going after employers, and by then reducing even legal immigration to the point where we're only talking about families, of immediate families of people who are presently here legally, and or refugees, refugee status. Those two things we can allow, but we must reduce the rest of it, or else we cannot drain the swamp. And this is the kind of thing that is going to happen here. We're going to have to take serious measures. Groups like the Muslim Brotherhood have got to be identified as a threat to the United States. Some of the recent activities, some of the recent information we've gathered from a trial that's going on in the United States would certainly indicate that the Muslim Brotherhood is a threat to the United States. It has to be identified as such. When people are here, and people who are here and part of the Muslim Brotherhood, they need to be deported also, to get rid of them. I know this is strong stuff, you guys, I realize that, but if anybody can explain to me how we can deal with this issue in a more rational way, I'm in favor of, I certainly want to hear it. But we cannot just simply continue to ignore this problem. Political correctness is going to get us all killed. And that's what's helped stop us from doing what we need to do. So anyway, we have a radio spot that goes along with it. If you just want to play that, it's a 60-second spot.
According to FBI reports, Al-Qaeda may be planning
I don't know if you can't hear that.
shopping malls here in America later this year. And the candidates for president are talking about health care and energy policy. I'm Tom Tancredo, and I say all issues pale in comparison to the fact that Islamic jihadists are